Secure the bag, yeah, that's the brand, and we get to the bag.
Yo, what's going on, family? It's your man Tasteware here once again with another STB Market Watch. Now, of course, maybe a video ago, I mentioned how, like, man, people aren't really taking this thing serious when I actually teach for free. But I do realize that, because I did get a lot of feedback from that video, and they're like, Tay, I'm here, please. Like, at least do. And one person brought up a really good idea. Person was saying, shout out to Egypt and shout out to, I think his name was DeAndre. But I had one or two people say these few things. They said, listen, Tay, give us a few times a week and continue to do those workshops. Because I do these workshops or like challenges where for about 3 to 5 days, I'll have you come in and we'll sit down and I'll create a whole presentation and teach you literally what to do, how to look through this, how to go through that, and literally what we'll do is maybe one a month because it's pretty intensive and I have to hire people to help me do it because it's a lot. Like, for example, I had to hire a person to even help me build a presentation because it's very tedious. But anyway, I think I may start doing something like that because I do think it's very helpful. And I can do 3 times a week. And even if people don't show up for free, I can still do 3 days a week and still make sure I'm hanging out with my baby boy, teaching him how to trade, hanging out with my wife. She trades as well. And we can enjoy life. And I can still bang out, a couple videos a week. And I think everybody can be happy. Right. So I'm going to do that. And like I said, we'll kind of go from there. So what we'll do is maybe 2 or 3 a week, maybe Monday and Fridays. And maybe if I'm feeling good, I'll do a Wednesday. So something like that, I think could be a good happy medium. So that being said, comment below. Are you a fan of that? Is that something that you feel it's a good happy medium? Like, you know what, Tay? Let's do that. That just lets me know, okay, I'm on to something. Like this is a good schedule. Of course, the last challenge I did for the full thing to get like your replays and everything. I think it was like $97. So something it's like a little lunch money. Like, hey, I can afford that. You're worth it. Here's $97. Cool. Let's do that. For the workshop, just for your time and maybe to help you cover, help me cover some of the people who are, helping me to build this thing out each month because it's usually a 5 day or 3 or 5 day challenge. But if you like that system, this setup, I think I can make that work while I still, take care of my family as far as like spending time with them, hanging out with my baby boy. We're traveling right now as we speak. So outside of traveling and, trading, I can come up with a little extra time to, do these videos. And then maybe 3 to 5 days out of the month, I can dedicate to actually teaching a group of people what we're doing, how it works, and really go through it intensive. Okay. But once again, if you like that, if you think that's something that could be helpful to you, just comment below. Let me know your thoughts on that, and maybe we can build from there. All right. So, with that being said, let's get into today's topic, which is how to identify trends. And trends include stopping points, right? Because what's the good of like what good of use is a trend if you don't know whether or not it's getting ready to stop? Right? So you need to know not only what the trend is, are we bullish, are we bearish, but you need to know where are your potential hiccups in this trend. So if we're bullish, where's a hiccup? Where's some area, some resistance area that we can potentially fail and pull back? If we're bearish, hey, maybe you get into puts. What is the potential, bullish area, or some people may even call them. I'm not even just talking about support and resistance lines. I'm not just talking about buy or sell zones, right? There are plenty of things you can be looking for, but for me, or for today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to identify the trend, but not only that, I'm going to show you how to identify what's in the way of the trend, right? What's the potential that this trend can be slowed down. That's what we'll talk about today. All right. And the way we do it, like always, is we're going to go over maybe the S&P 500, SPX, or the ES. One of the two, they're all pretty much, the S&P 500 is pretty much all the same thing. They're just different, equity back versus, or index equity back versus futures, right? Well, it's always going to be somewhere around the S&P 500 because that usually is I'll say it's usually the biggest or the best representation of the market because it has the most stocks in the index versus, the NASDAQ or the Dow Jones. So that being said, let's jump right into it. Let's see what trends we can find here recently. And then what we'll do is maybe even back test a trend. And that'll help me to show you what actually happens when you have something that gets in the way. All right. So let's check it out and see what we have today. Now, before we get started, first of all, I'm going to start on the weekly chart because it's going to be easier to kind of back test this thing, and it's going to be easier to kind of see where we're going. So I'm going to start on the weekly. But one of the things I always have to make certain or make sure that people understand, right? Because I'm going to get critics. It's just part of it. The critics are always going to tell me, hey, you're looking at a dead chart. You're looking at a chart that's easy to back test. It's easy to back test. And the one thing I say is like, listen, back testing is not necessarily something for you to just, beat your chest and say, oh, look, I found support and resistance. If you would have did this, you would have made that. No, back testing is crucial. Back testing is crucial because if you find out what happened previously, when you see it again in the future or the present, 9 times out of 10, a lot of my indicators I use are 90%. 9 times out of 10, it's going to do exactly what it did last time, right? So once again, if I step in front of a school bus going at 40 miles an hour and I get hit by the school bus and I lose a tooth and break an arm, the next time, even though I'm looking back at what happened previously, the next time I get hit by a school bus or the potential to get hit by a school bus, I can almost guarantee that if it's going 40 miles an hour and I get hit the exact same way, I'm probably going to lose another tooth and potentially break another bone. That's how it works. Okay. It's the same thing with the stock market. It's the same thing. Support and resistance is followed. These are not lagging indicators. I've always told you all that. Like, I do not deal with lagging indicators. I like price action. I like trend lines. And I definitely like what some people may call the Elliott wave. And I'd say some people may call because I also take it to the next level and go into the Neely's method. Okay. This is something I've back tested to the 1900s and it still works till this day. So once again, it's all price action based, okay, for the most part. So that being said, let's get into it. So one of my favorite things, like we always talk about, right? I like my trend lines, baby. I like my trend lines. Here looks like a really good one, right? Here looks like a really good trend line, and I'm going to extend these just so we can see what's going on, right? And I've done this before, right? I've done this before because I like to show you how this thing works. Look at this. You have some support in there, right? Boom. So support. And what I'm going to do is just show you support, and then we'll come in and label some resistance. So we got support, support. I'm going to come in maybe even here, go somewhere into like that. That is support as well, right? And then I'm not going to go too far back. And then we'll come in and do some resistance. Now, what I'm just showing you is the trend, right? All you need is usually 3 candles or more to find or identify a trend. So if I got 3 candles, which you could have started here, here, somewhere in here, this would have let you know, especially on the lower time frames, that this was support. Now you got it here, here, here. So we've definitely got 3 right here. So at this point, I know we're on our way up. Now, we can come in and also draw resistance, right? Because look, as this thing goes up, it hits kind of like a ceiling every time and comes back down, right? So what I could have done as well is drawn something like this, okay? So look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Literally after that, I don't need to see no more. I know this is resistance now. I literally don't need to see any more. Look at this. This is now resistance. That's all I need to know. So literally when it pulls back, boom, I could have sold it there, right? Profit sold, pulls back, right? Didn't necessarily hit it. Look, they front run a lot. This is what, I teach a lot of my students. They will front run a lot of your stocks, right? Also, this was in May 2021. Of course, there's some things that we look at as far as weather patterns and things like that. They help us understand why it's pulling back or how to know it's going to pull back. Once again, I deal with things that's worked previously, and I can back test what I teach. I can back test it over 100 years back. This is why I like the stock market versus crypto. Okay, because crypto, you don't have 100+ years worth of data. With this, I have 100+ years worth of data, and I can tell you based on something that might have happened in the 1900s. If it happens again today, it's probably going to create the same effect. All right. So once again, we got resistance, clear resistance. We have clear support. All right. Now, this will continue to hold support and resistance for the entirety of its lifespan. Okay. Now, of course, we have here. Boom. So look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. And when you bring it down, guess what? Look at that. Resistance, resistance, gave it support, came back under resistance, support, support, support. So once again, this is another line. All right. And I'm just showing you kind of like the macros of like how the thing moves, right? I'm just showing you macros of how it moves. You don't have to make your chart super, ugly and make a bunch of lines. I'm just showing you this is how it moves. And I'm showing you that it holds these trends for months, right? 4 months. You knew there was 3 back here, right? And look at that. It just kept holding it. So you knew once you got above, probably gonna hold support. If you get below, probably gonna hold resistance. So these are good signs. All right. Just showing you that these are how we pretty much for the most part, this is how we identify our trends. Okay. That's literally all I'm showing here. Now, let's continue. So I'm gonna wipe a little bit of this off just so it's not too cloudy. All right, because I know how people are saying, I can't see it. I don't know what you're doing. All right. So also I see some cloudiness in this area here. And I've done this before, but I just want to kind of show you how it works. If you see right in here, we had some smoke going on, right? So support, or excuse me, resistance, resistance. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9. So I like this line as well. This is what we would call in the technical world, this would look like a rising wedge, boys and girls. Rising wedge. And what a rising wedge usually means is that we are getting ready to see some but bearish activity. Usually this is a bearish indicator, right? This is something that a lot of people will see it and they'll go, okay, this is looking like it's bearish. When it's rising and it's wedging, right? Now that doesn't mean it can't fall, hit here, and continue higher, because it absolutely can. All right. What we have to wait for now, so I'm going to delete this here and these back here. As a matter of fact, I'll keep these here because I'm going to show you an example of a previous rising wedge. We'll find one together, right? I don't know where one is, but we'll find it, all right? Because they happen all the time. So as you see here, it's just bouncing inside of this wedge, right? So eventually what's going to happen is, and my guess, if I had to give you an educated guess, my guess is over the next month or so, we're going to pull back and test this line, right? Now, if it bounces, what'll happen is we'll just continue upward, right? We'll continue upward. That's it. This thing can continue, and we'll just continue bouncing upward until we break it. Once we break it, I'm looking for a test and hold as now resistance, and then we'll leak, right? Then we'll leak. Now, me personally, because of my wave pattern, I don't expect a leak too far back. So the most I can expect it to come back to is about right here. I don't like, you can mark my words, you can put it on the charts, take a screenshot, do whatever the hell you have to do. So you can hold me accountable if this doesn't happen. But I can tell you within the next 6 months, because see, it's a weekly chart, so we have to give it some time, right? It just this, this stuff just not gonna happen overnight because it's a weekly chart, right? But this weekly chart is showing me some bearish activity. This is bearish. When it's going in a wedge, this is bearish, right? So within the next 6 months, this puts us at what? This was at March 24. So I'm going to say the next 6 months. So that's a little more than 6 months because I'm considering this August already. So we got August, September, October, November, December, January. I'm expecting this move to happen by January. I'm being honest with you. If it does not play out, hey, we got to see what the buyers and sellers are doing. But what I can tell you is based on this structure, this is what it looks like. And the reason why I'm saying this is because let's do a count. This is my wave pattern here. This looks like wave one, wave two. That looks like a wave one of three, wave two of three, three of three, four of three. Will do something like this. Four of three, five of three, wave four. And the reason why I say you can't come this low, I don't project, for me, I don't project or see it going under here potentially. So 4,200. The reason why is because if you know your wave patterns, you know you can't come back down here and touch these. So I'm expecting wave four here, wave five, bingo. This is what I'm expecting. Wave five, then we'll get that move down. That will be considered a corrective pattern. Now, once again, I'm not going to get too deep into teaching all of that stuff because a lot of this stuff takes time to teach, right? Like hours and hours. I have people in my STB, like my full STB VIP program. I've been teaching this stuff 2-3 hours every Sunday, and it's still taking time for it to sink in, right? But this is how we project or kind of like predict where the market is going, right? There's a few other things I use, but this is what I see. So yes, I think we're going to go in here, support resistance, break support, come back, test resistance, and then we'll make a corrective pattern down. Now, what we are seeing right now, why is it stopping here and why should we get a wave four pullback? And this would be a four of three because it's a wave three, right? So wave three started back here, one of three, two of three, three of three, four of three, five of three, wave four of the full thing. So that'd be wave four. And then we'll get wave five. Now, why do I see this happening? Well, first of all, we got some sellers. Where can this thing stop? Well, great question. If you look back here, right in this area, right, we have always had some friction. All right. So the last time we got up here, what happened? We got a crash, right? And when you got below this area, you got some sellers in here, right? You got some sellers in here. So every time you get in this box, it seems to pull back, right? So we fell, boom, closed beneath. That turned all of these sellers, excuse me, all of these buyers into sellers. Now, guess what? When you come up, it comes back into these sellers, knocks it head off. Literally, if you were in here, you got your head knocked off. Boom, fell 300 points plus, right? Why did it bounce? Well, guess what? You got some buyers back here. All right. You have buyers in this area. Okay. As low as here. So once again, buyers in this area, especially it was a little bitty group of buyers right here, but mostly down here. Buyers in that area. Okay, cool. Come down. Look, buyer, come down, buyer, buyer. Look, so it really took it up there. So every time it hit it once, buyer, hit it twice, buyer, hit it a third time, big buyers. Boom. Took it right back into your sellers. Seller knocked the head off. Boom, 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 boom. So much so, look, it tried to hold it. So it came down and actually jumped. That's 1 week candle. You could have bought that for a week expiration date, made a bunch of money right there because that was from 40.68 to as high as 42.90. That's a $300 move. That's almost a $300 move. I'll give you two. That's a $200 move, right? Because you shouldn't be in there the whole way. That's a $200 move if you just caught that in 1 week. Hello, y'all not hearing me. All right, we got underneath it, held. Okay, so once you get underneath these, once again, they go from buyers to sellers. So you got underneath, closed it, seller, got up, and guess what? Sold them off. Where did it go down to? Once again, if you come here and you look left, you'll notice we got buyers down here. Buyer, 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 right? So you got buyers once again as low as here. Boom. Look at that. Buyer, buyer, buyer. Look at that. Buyer, buyer. So look, it bought here and literally took it into the next week. Sold it off. Boom. Came down. Buyer. Took it up. Held buyers. Took it back to sellers. Boom. 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 Buyer. Took it up. That was a fake out because usually when you close underneath, a lot of us will go short. We'll go short because that looks like it's going to continue to fall. Now, there's a reason why it did continue to fall, and I can show you later, but this little structure right here gave support to this. I'll just tell you that. Right? And that's what made us start this. Now we're coming into another group of sellers. So what my and look, it's crazy. Look at this. I just drew this because I know how this thing can move based on this. But look, my drawing is showing you like, damn, this thing actually could make it as high as here. And literally when it pulls back, look what is hidden. I told you we couldn't go up underneath here, but look what it holds. Oh my God. See, some people gonna call, oh, it's easy to back test and da 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 da. And I'm like, no, I'm not back testing. I'm actually future testing. I'm telling you, we're gonna pull back. I would buy here, take it up some more. I would sell somewhere in here, and I'm holding for this. Like literally, that's why I told you take your screenshot. I'm here to talk my ish. This is how we move. Yes, I think we're pulling back somewhere in here. Now, once again, they front run stuff, so they might even front run this, right? Take you maybe somewhere like right here because you got buyers right here. But once again, I'm here to talk my ish, help some people, as many people as I can help. But once again, all of the little trolls that come in and talk shit, hey, this is not just back testing. I'm future testing. I'm telling you what's about to happen. Now, once again, it never is it going to be perfect to the T. They front run my price targets. They, sometimes it goes a little lower, right? But this area should hold. This area should get faded, right? It's going to get faded now. It'll try to come back in. It'll get faded hard again, probably going into September, October, because historically we have cycles that make us pull back during that time, right? And I teach cycles as well for those of y'all who don't know. So once again, this is what I'm seeing. And then I do think we're going to remain bullish into mid to maybe even late next year. You know why? Because we got cycles that we have to worry about. And I'll be teaching. I am going to do another 5-day intensive class where for 5 days I will be live. I'll build a presentation, and I'm actually going to be teaching on what cycle we're currently in and why do I see us going bullish even more. And I'm telling you, we're getting to a $5,000 price target, right? So once again, take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. I even have, that's what I like about YouTube, because you can come back and watch my shit. You can come back and see, man, damn, Tate called that. He said it was going to pull back, and then he said it was going to take off. And he called all-time highs. And he told us it was going to like 5,000. I'd say 4,900 to 5,000. We'll say that. But yeah, you can come back. You can come back and check my work, baby. All right. So once again, this is bearish from what I'm seeing. And I do think we'll pull back, then we'll bounce. All right. And we've talked about EMA, so you can also use that to see if we're bullish or not. Let's see if we can find another rising wedge. Another rising wedge. Let's see. I mean, there's a few. This looks like one, right? This definitely looks like one. I'll give it there. Look at that. Boom. Resistance. Support. Rising wedge. Broke it. Tested it real quick too. Tested it quick and then leaked. Where did it leak to? Look left, baby. Look at these buyers down here. You got buyers from here to about down here. And I'm going to move this box back just a little bit. Boom. Buyers in there, buyers in here, buyers in here. And look at that, to the T. Bingo. Held the low from back here. If you bought it up, and we're out. This is how you can find your label or your area, of buyers. And this stuff works on a weekly, the daily, the 4-hour, the hour, the 2-hour, the 30-minute, the 15-minute, the 5-minute. It works. Okay. It works. So once again, rising wedge, leaked, fall. And guess what? This same rising wedge, we're gonna make it red just to make it real. So you can be scared when you see it. Watch this. Rising wedge, we're gonna make it red. So you know what's up next time you see it. And look, that rising wedge that acted as support and resistance, once you get below, it's all-time resistance. And look at this, rise, boom, resistance and leak. There is your 2020 leak. All right. Guess what? We bounced right out of that same damn buy zone. And what happened? You got back here and it leaked again. You got up, it leaked again. Hey, I can't make this shit up, man. Look, this is how the market works. I am a master technician. This is what I do. People are going to hate on me. That's cool. But what I need y'all to know is that if you are here to really learn how to trade the markets, I am the person who can teach it to you. I need you to show up. I need you to actually put in the time and the effort and the resources to learn this stuff. But if you give me the chance, I can teach you how to be dangerous. Let's follow this red line and let's see if it continues to hold. Oh my God, look at that. Support, support. Fell underneath just a little bit, gave you some little resistance, not a lot, little resistance, got back above. Look at that support, resistance, resistance, resistance. Oh my God, look at this. Resistance, 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 got above, support, support, support. Oh my God. And what you think is gonna happen if we get back up here? This red line still sitting right there, and we're gonna be ready to knock its head off. This is how the market moves. Okay, now, once again, I just showed you another rising wedge. What happens if we can find another one? It looks like there's one right here. All right, I'm just gonna look. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete this so we don't get too junky, too messy. Right, I'm gonna delete this. We're gonna have some fun with one more. Right, here's one more. Bingo. All right, I see a bunch of support in there. Support, support. They front ran it, but I can even sneak this line up a little bit more and make it touch that. So support. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look, it leaked down and then it closed right above this line still. So once again, that's still some strong support. Look at that, strong support. Okay, rising wedge. Where was my resistance? I could start it maybe like right in here. There it is. You got you a fake out up here too, because it looked like it tried to. Hey, that's crazy. It looked like it tried to get above it and show you that it wasn't gonna go. But that is a rising wedge. One, look at this. 2, 3 resistance. Look like we got some resistance in here, and it front ran it. So you can even pull that back just a little bit if you want to. But yeah, once again, it's a rising wedge. Got above, fake out, fake out, fake out for a couple weeks. Why did it hold there? Once again, because we had already told you back here, you had some shit. Excuse me, I need to draw it from here. We had some stuff holding support. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And look at that. Once support, once you get underneath it, becomes resistance. And literally, we knew that that was resistance. Now, there was 5 things to tell me that we were going to get this leak. And if you've been following me since 2020, or even before that, you know that I actually called this. There was a few reasons why, right? There was a few things, and I've talked about Mercury. I've talked about bullish patterns, Jupiter. I've talked about all of this. Or excuse me, bearish patterns. I've talked about Jupiter. This is a rising wedge. This was resistance. I've talked about all of this stuff. If you have not been in the classes, that's not my fault, right? But I've taught this stuff, y'all. I might mention in the next 5-day, challenge or coaching program that I do, where we break down some stuff for 5 days. But yeah, I taught this stuff, and I told y'all we called it. We called it. Okay. So once again, you could have called that one. You could have called this one. Look at all this resistance. Now you start to see why the market moves the way it moves. Look how it's following these red lines. Look at that. Support, support, support. Look at this. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Are you not entertained? Look at this. Resistance. We're getting back up here. Look what's coming. Even look at my line, how I drew it out. Boom, 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 boom. Resistance on these white lines. But guess what? When we bounce and we take it up again, guess what? It's going to be resistance waiting for your ass. Here you go, right here. 46.94. It'll be resistance and it'll knock its head off. So maybe here is where it'll get its head knocked off to pull it back here. I mean, what more do you want? What more do you want from me? All right. So once again, this has been my analysis. I hope all of this stuff makes sense. Once again, this is how this thing works. All right. I've been doing this for a long time, and I teach people how to get money. That's what I do. Right. Not everybody wants to pay to learn this stuff, but if you pay and you really come in and take it serious, and I say pay because that's the only time you take it serious. Right. I can tell you this. You pay and you learn how to do this, and you don't need to pay me. I'll tell you some reputable people to go to. Larry Williams. I love Larry Williams. That's one of my mentors. He's probably one of the only people I tell you to go to. Go pay him. Shit. Go pay Larry Williams, right? Go pay who else can I think of? Dan Zanger. I like what he does. He's a little bit more sophisticated in how he moves. I keep things simple. So does Larry Williams. I like Larry Williams. He keeps it simple. You ain't got to pay me. Now I got stuff, that's a little bit cheaper than them, and I got stuff that's more expensive based on how much time you want to take from me. But even if you don't pay me, pay somebody. I just gave you two very reputable people, right? The reason why I say that is because they've been doing it for a minute, number one. But number two, they teach similar to what I teach. And the only reason why I say that is because I can show you that it works. I can take you back 100 plus years and show you that what I teach you has been working since the 1900s, 1901, the panic of 1907, 1905, the financial crisis, well, not the financial crisis, um, the crash of 1929, right? Great Depression. I could take you back and show you the same stuff I just showed you today. It's been working since back then, right? That's what those guys I recommended, that's what they do. Anybody else? I don't know if I can vouch for him. Right? There's another guy, Michael. I vouch for Michael. Michael's good, but that's because he learned from the same guy I learned from. And that's Larry Williams, right? A lot of y'all might know him as ICT. Other than these few people, I don't know. I don't know if I can vouch for many other people as far as trading goes, right? I don't know anybody who teach the way we teach. So once again, this is just how it works. This is what we do. This is the pattern that I'm seeing right now. Could pull back pretty soon. I like it, right? I'm going to be looking for weather patterns. I'm going to be looking for some other things that we track the markets with, cycles, because we use cycles. My STB folks know what's up. We can kind of tell the future just based on the cycles. This is what I'm seeing coming based on the cycle, right? But I do expect us to remain bullish as we are in a very bullish cycle, okay? So that being said, I hope today was great. I hope you enjoy. I'm downloading this tonight so that you can see it and watch it tonight through Friday. So with that being said, enjoy your weekend, and hopefully I'll see y'all Monday, God willing. All right. Love you all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share my shit. All right. Much love, family. I'll talk to you soon. I'm out.
Secure the bag, yeah, that's the brand, and we get to the bag.